Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Power Core Productions and Podcastings. I'm your host, Javon Harrington, and first and foremost, I want to say welcome to the first story of the official slate of Power Core Productions 2025. How have you guys been? I haven't been with you all in about a month and a half or so. I've been on a 6-week vacation, much needed. Just had to have a chance to recharge after everything that was 2024. In 2024, we made a grand total of 320 videos. So first off, that's just insane to me. And for everything that I was able to accomplish in 2024, I want to take the time to say thank you. Now, what's the goal for 2025? Well, simply, the goal for 2025 is quality over quantity. Sure, I could chuck out a whole bunch of videos. In fact, there were a whole lot more that I wanted to make this year, but I had to scale back. And I would say that going forward, what I really want to do is make stuff that people are going to enjoy and people are going to come back to. I really want to avoid having the drop-off from video to video. That was kind of a big deal factor for me last year, having one video that would reach certain heights only for it to take a dip as it went further and further and further. And that's to be expected, of course. But I want to try to be better. I want to do better. I'm not going to be jumping immediately into the anime Marvel, anime DC stuff, just because we just came off of the road to Shibuya, and I really don't want to jump back into another big story phase like immediately. So to kick things off, we're going to be doing something simple, a simple Naruto what if story. Naruto Ouroboros. What if Naruto was adopted by Orochimaru? So, as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It had been 2 weeks since the funeral of the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze. His death was abrupt, sudden, and without warning. But so too was the attack on the village. Orochimaru still remembered that night. He had been at his home, reading a book, thinking that soon he would be able to go to sleep, but yet sleep never came. There was something, a warning going off in his head. A cruel form of intuition, you might say. And sure enough, under the cover of night, the Nine Tails, once hosted by its Jinchuriki Kushina Uzumaki, had now escaped and gone on the loose. Orochimaru, along with the other Jonin of the Hidden Leaf, did what he could, helping civilians get to safety and to try to hold off the beast. Ultimately, the fourth Hokage would sacrifice his life in order to defeat it. And in the process, both he and his wife Kushina would perish in battle. Of course, rumor and word would be passing around through the upper echelon of the Konoha shinobi, those claiming to have seen the eyes of the Sharingan within the beast. The Uchiha were now under scrutiny. Of course, Orochimaru had taken an interest in them. Their power with the Sharingan was not something to be underestimated, a power even capable of taming the strongest of the tailed beast. Although, the situation wasn't adding up. Sure, the Uchiha were disgruntled with the leaf, but would they have gone that far? Also, for what the Nine Tails had done, it wasn't as if it were a full-on coordinated attack. Were they trying to make it look like an accident? There would have been better ways of doing it. No, this attack was definitely real, and perhaps there was an Uchiha responsible, but not the whole clan. Still, they had little to go on, and in the midst of reconstruction, strong measures were being taken. But that that wasn't what was on Orochimaru's mind at the moment. It was wondering why Hiruzen had summoned him. He had other commitments to take care of at the moment. But still, for his master to call him, it had to be something serious. After all, it's not every day that the Hokage is killed so abruptly. And now, there was a vacancy that had to be filled. Was that why he had been called? Was now his time to ascend to that role? As he made his way into the office, Hiruzen looked like he had aged multiple decades in the span of a few weeks. His master, the one of whom had trained him in the art of ninjutsu, had been looking to enjoy his retirement with his wife. However, on the night of October 10th, anything but. Not only did the Nine Tails attack, but his wife was killed in the process. And now Hiruzen was forced to take back the title of Hokage after stepping down. "You've made it," Hiruzen said, as he took a drag from his pipe. "You summoned me, Lord Hiruzen." "I did. Have a seat, Orochimaru." As Orochimaru sat, there was a silence between the two. No one was in a rush to break it, instead letting the moment settle among them. The skies outside were a dark and dull gray, and no peak of the sun could be shown. The rain looking as though it were beginning to swell, as the lined portraits of the Hokage adorned the room. Orochimaru's gaze fell upon each face, from Hashirama, Tobirama, his master Hiruzen, and finally, Minato. Orochimaru had mixed feelings about the self-proclaimed yellow flash of the leaf. Of course, he respected his mind and intellect, his skill with the flying Raijin Jutsu, said to have even surpassed that of its creator, the second Hokage. He was skilled in sealing jutsu and an innovator in ninjutsu and next age offense. Orochimaru wouldn't have admitted it out loud, but Minato wasn't just his equal. In a lot of ways, he was his superior. That had always been something that had bogged down Orochimaru. Despite everyone singing his praises, despite everyone telling him how great he was, deep down, he always knew that there were those out there who were simply better. The great shinobi world were filled with powerful beings, some of whom couldn't be matched. For all Orochimaru's skill and technique, in the grand scheme of things, he were nothing more but a cog in the machine, and all it would take was the wrong encounter to end him for good. There were so many jutsus out there that one could master, but there wasn't enough time to learn them all. You could only scratch the surface of your potential as a shinobi. Even for those who were called the elite, the exceptional of the exceptional, those who survived long in a world that often killed you when you were young. There was one enemy that was always undefeated, and that enemy was time. Time gave you maturity, it gave you wisdom, but it robbed you of your youth, of your strength. What good was all of that knowledge in a body that would grow old and wither away? What good was it to have mastered every jutsu, only to not be in your prime to use it? For Orochimaru, it felt like time mocked him at every turn. He was already in his late 30s, getting ready to enter into his 40s. He was already exiting his prime. He was considered a Hokage candidate, a position that he had wanted more than anything. But yet this attack, it showed him so much that he never wanted to admit. The truth was, Minato was better than him. Minato was stronger than him. And yet the stronger and the better of the two also failed. If anything, Minato's defeat was his defeat. At least if Minato had survived, at least then it could give him some solace. He could at least accept the fact that someone younger than him, someone poised to have more potential, a true prodigy among prodigies, if he could have accepted that Minato would have survived an encounter like this, then at least it could give him some solace, some iota of dignity to believe that if he had been in Minato's position, if he was Minato's age, that he could have done just as well. But no. Not only did the better prodigy fall, but it also served as confirmation. The way he was now, Orochimaru couldn't have done anything. And that's what aided him the most. If he had been Hokage, he too would have failed. Minato's failure was now his failure. Hiruzen would finally break away the silence. Orochimaru, these are troubling times. But I'm sure that you are aware of this. With the death of Minato, there is now a vacancy in the title of Hokage. Was this the moment, Orochimaru thought? Was he going to be selected? He braced himself for what came next. Orochimaru, I have always had hopes that one day you could take my place, even more so than Minato. Well, I wouldn't say that it's something that I've often thought about. But if you thought that I could, I do. But there's something else, Orochimaru. As your master, your former master, as someone who has raised you since you were young, I feel it best to tell you this. There is a reason why I did not choose you. And why was that? There is a darkness inside of you, Orochimaru. Perhaps you know it. Perhaps it's something that you try to ignore. But you can feel it, can't you? A darkness? What are you implying, Lord Hokage? I am merely saying that in all of your years as a shinobi, has this world twisted you? If this world twisted me, Orochimaru said, then I believe that's the fault of the world. After all, I was trained to be a soldier. In a world where people like me die on the battlefield forgotten, I survived. And I have carved out a name for myself. Am I supposed to regret the lives that I've taken? I feel like it's too late for that. For every battle that you deployed me in, Lord Third, What mission have I failed you? What assignment could I not complete? I have taken all of the darkness, Lord Third, because you left me in that darkness. You're right. I did leave you in the darkness. Perhaps it was easier that way. Easier for yourself, you mean? I have failed you. Orochimaru was surprised by this. Surprised that his master would even admit something like that. And what exactly do you mean? You were struggling back then. Your parents. Do you think that I used them as an excuse? Of course not. But tell me, have you forgotten them? Why ask me a foolish question? Of course, you wouldn't forget. What is the meaning of this, Lord Third? I doubt that you have any intentions on making me Hokage. You're right. As much as I would want to, I don't feel I can give you that at the moment. Not until I'm able to restore the light inside of you. The light. What exactly did Hiruzen mean by this? Orochimaru thought. What was he getting at? Come with me. Together, both Hiruzen and Orochimaru walked through the streets of Konoha, watching as civilian and shinobi alike worked on its rebuild, restoring what had been destroyed in the attacks. Funeral processions were being held for those that had lost their lives. There was a great sense of sorrow within the village. Before long, they arrived to Konoha Hospital. Hiruzen, making his way inside, would lead to the maternity ward where the children who had recently been born or soon to be would be resting. Tell me, Orochimaru, who is the king? The king? Orochimaru asked. When it comes to the village, who is the king? This had to be a trick question, Orochimaru thought. The obvious answer would be something like the Hokage, but that probably wasn't the answer that he was looking for. Hiruzen started to think. Why had he been brought here to a hospital? Why to the maternity ward? What was he trying to get at? Excuse me, Lord Third? It's ready for you. Ah, thank you, ma'am. Do you have an answer, Orochimaru? Who is the king? The children. The children are the king. But why is that? You protect the king, Orochimaru said. And to protect the king, at all costs, you protect the future. Hiruzen would smile at this answer. Perhaps there was light in him yet. So many shinobi, in their time on this earth, they tried to gain glory, fame, immortality. To live on, and yet so many fall short of that goal. Do you know why that is? Orochimaru stayed silent, allowing for Hiruzen to continue. The legacy we leave behind is not in the number of missions that we complete. It's not through the battles that we fight and win. Battles will come and go, wins and losses with them. For every victory, you will also suffer a defeat, a loss. But shinobi are ones who endure, who continue on in spite of those losses. Because of that, the future is secure. The future are the children, the generations that will come after us. In due time, Orochimaru, Hiruzen said as he looked out of the window of the hospital, staring at the Hokage faces. Eventually, you and I will become nothing more but names in a textbook. Faces etched in stone if we're lucky. We'll become nothing more but a memory, a fabled tale. For some, legends. But we will live on forever. We live on in our students, those who take our lessons, those who carry the will of fire, Orochimaru said. As they approached to a window, they saw a young baby, swaddled in orange cloth, his short stubbled hair a bright blonde, 3 whiskers on both of his cheeks. He was fast asleep, not as he had been earlier, crying nonstop. Is that? It is. The legacy of the 4th Hokage. Wait a minute. Is this what you want? Will you look after him? Why? Orochimaru would ask. Why me? Surely you could ask Suna, or Jiraiya even. After all, he was Minato's sensei. I have tried. Jiraiya does not feel that he is suited to take such a position, and I don't want to force it upon him. Nor do I want to force this upon you either. But I believe this could be beneficial for you, Orochimaru. Why is that? What would I gain from raising the late Hokage's son? If I told you now, you may never get it. It's something that only experience can provide. Of course, I won't force this upon you if you truly don't want it. I only made the offer because you are one of the few people in this world that I could trust with such a responsibility. Just think it over. The two would leave the hospital. For Orochimaru, he had a lot to ponder. Over the next few days, he took time to himself. Time to ponder and think about everything that had happened. The 4th Hokage's son. No, I can't do it. There's just no way. I'm not a parent. What would I even know about raising a child? Nothing. Nothing at all, that's what. Orochimaru thought and pondered it back and forth. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Perhaps there was more to the child than met the eye. After all, it inherited those fox-like whiskers. Perhaps a connection to the Nine Tails? That could be intriguing. Orochimaru would then be stopped as two masked shinobi would call for him. "Lord Danzo wishes to speak with you, Orochimaru." Of course he does. Inside of the Root headquarters, Danzo Shimura, a councilman for the Konoha elders, an advisor to the Hokage. He had seen this coming for a while now. He had respect for Minato, yes, but still, he was a student of Jiraiya, a student of Hiruzen, corrupted by those foolish ideals of the will of fire. No, now the village was in an upheaval. The people and their spirits had now been broken more than ever. If they weren't kept strong in this time of adversity, their enemies would attack. Danzo was not blind to the truth like a lot of other people were. Only the strongest could survive. Only those strong enough to take it. The power, the control. The only way peace could exist is if they were the only power left standing. And now that vacuum had occurred once again. That's why it was time to recruit allies. "I'm so glad you could make it, Orochimaru. Would you care for tea?" "No, thank you. What's the meaning of this, Danzo?" "I have noticed your talents for a long time now. And now, as Konoha goes through this time of trial and tribulation, I believe that now more than ever, it is time to call forth the exceptional of our society." "Are you trying to flatter me, sir?" "No, of course not. Do you think that I would waste my words doing such a thing? I know talent when I see it. Your mind, your sciences, your research. You can accomplish a lot. I believe wholeheartedly that you and I can lead Konoha into a better future, a more prosperous future, a future fully secure. What exactly do you want from me? Would you consider joining my organization? The Root. The Root, Orochimaru scoffed. Yes, your band of misfit Ambu who play around in the shadows. Is that really what you think? That that's what we do? The Root lie in the darkness. Never seen, but our presence is felt. Without the root, the tree cannot stand. The leaves cannot give off their beauty. The fruitage of the tree cannot be enjoyed by the many. It all starts with the root. I'm offering you a chance to become that root, a pillar of Konoha. Nothing will be denied you, Orochimaru. What you do for the greater good. Whose greater good? We don't have to be enemies. But we're not friends either. You have your ambitions, just like I have mine. You want the title of Hokage for yourself. And would I be so wrong to want it? It seems like no one else will take it. Why is it that we are denied this? What about Fugaku? What about him? Is he not also capable? I'm sure you've heard the rumors, Orochimaru. It was said that the reveal of the Sharingan could be seen in the iris of the nine-tailed fox. So you believe the Uchiha were behind this? I cannot prove it for certainty, but I believe so. After all, they have always been a rebellious group. A troublesome group. You go poking at trouble, you may not like what you find, Orochimaru said. I believe that it's best to cut the head of the snake before it becomes a problem. Wouldn't you agree, Orochimaru? Perhaps, though some snakes become a lot worse. You cut off one head and two more will grow in its place. Double the trouble. Keep that in mind, Lord Danzo. And good day to you. Yes. And good day to you as well, Orochimaru. 1 week later. No way! Anko said. The 13-year-old Genin looking around Orochimaru's apartment that had now been turned into a nursery. No way. My sensei of all people? You're going to be a dad? It's nothing like that, really. I'm more so fulfilling a mission than anything else. Mission? What type of mission has you playing daddy daycare? Anko said as she ate some dango. If you keep eating like that, it won't be good for your health. Yeah. I can quit eating these whenever I want. Besides, you owed me after last time. You said I could get anything I wanted. And I wanted dango. You are a spoiled girl. Love you too, Orochimaru. That's Orochimaru Sensei to you. Orochimaru Sensei. If I may be allowed to give my advice. No, but you'll do it anyway. I'm just saying, this isn't you. You're not you're not really... Go on. You're not the parental type. At least that's not what everyone else thinks. And what exactly does everyone else think? Well, if I'm being honest, a little creeped out, a lot of cold blood, shivering down the spine, and I don't care what anyone else thinks. Lord Third asked me to take on this responsibility, and that's what I'm going to do. And you're going to help me. Say what? Think about it. If you help me with an assignment from Lord Third, don't you think that will allow you to advance in rank as well? You won't have to take on nearly as many missions, since you'll be working directly under me. I get the promotion and I don't have to do as much work? Well, why didn't you just start with that? Come on, hand over the little sucker. Please make it stop. Please, help me. Help. He won't stop crying. And I see you're not going to stop crying either, Orochimaru said as he returned home from the grocery store. Safe to say, the last thing anyone from Konoha Mark would have expected was to see Lord Orochimaru walking through the baby aisles looking for formula. "Did you try checking to see if the baby needed to be changed?" Orochimaru would ask as he started the formula. "Changed? Yeah, that's right." As Anko went to undo baby Naruto's diaper, safe to say she had found her issue. She had been so caught up with the crying that she was only just now noticing the smell. "Oh, Naruto! Oh, that is disgusting! Don't smile at me like that! Oh, yep, need to change him. Oh, wait, it's still coming out! Oh, this is so gross! Just take me on a B-level mission, please. I'd rather do that." Orochimaru would simply smirk. Before long, baby Naruto was cleaned, fed, and was now fast asleep once more. Orochimaru would use one of his summoned snakes to rock the crib back and forth, soothing the baby and keeping him quiet while he was reading through some files. Anko, in the meanwhile, was finishing her cleaning of the kitchen as she came back exhausted. "You know, I don't think I want to be a mom." No, you do not," Orochimaru said. "So, what made you decide you wanted to be a dad anyway?" "I'm not a dad." "But you adopted him, didn't you?" "I'm just taking care of him as a mission, that is all. I am not that boy's father." "Is it about a DNA thing?" Anko would ask. "I mean, yeah, you might not be his biological father, but I still think you're a dad in every way that counts." "I am not a father." "Then why are you using your snakes to rock the baby back to sleep?" "I'm simply doing what's most effective." "Or how you're constantly looking at him every 5 minutes? I see you adjusting his blanket, trying to make sure he's comfortable." "You're over imagining things." "Yeah, you're just a big old softy. Everyone might call you a cold-blooded snake, but that cold-blooded snake's got a warm heart. Perhaps it's the will of fire." "Don't mock the will of fire." "It's supposed to burn inside of us, though, right?" Life in Orochimaru's home. It was chaotic. Anko took on the role of Big Sis, helping a smaller Naruto develop. Orochimaru put his work into his science and research, but there was something else. Orochimaru would never forget that day. He had been thinking about a new experiment. Something that he felt could have been revolutionary. But in order to do it, it would require a test subject. There was a young boy, a Genin. Orochimaru had been keeping his eyes on him. He felt like this one could have potential, of course. But he couldn't do it. Orochimaru thought it could be simple. He knew some places in Konoha that were secure. He could form a lab. All he had to do was take him away. The boy didn't have any parents. No one would miss him. He was just an orphan. But when the boy looked at him, when he smiled, all Orochimaru could see was Naruto in that moment. And he couldn't raise a hand against him. This strange phenomena repeated itself over and over again. until finally one day Orochimaru looked into the mirror. What he was staring at, it didn't even feel like himself. "Why?" said the reflection. "You pick now to grow a conscience?" "Shut up. You know that I'm right. Why do you deny yourself? You want to find the truth. Can you really live without knowing?" "Shut up. You don't know anything. I know everything. You can put on that facade for Anko, for Hiruzen, for Naruto. But we know the truth. You're too curious. You can't leave the unexplained alone. You want to know just as much as anyone else. You are exceptional, Orochimaru. Why bog yourself down by morality? Did they care about morality when they sent you to slaughter that camp of shinobi? Shut up. Did they care about morals when they had you kill that platoon? Did they care about morals during the war? No, it was about winning. Winning by any means necessary. It didn't matter how many lives you had to take. Man, woman, child, especially child. How many children have you killed already, Orochimaru? Shut up. What? So it's fair to kill when your country tells you to, but not for your own desire? I said shut up. You know it as well as I do. You work for a bunch of hypocrites and liars. Those who would just as soon throw you under the bus, bury you under the jail, and forget that you exist. You don't owe them anything. You didn't then. You don't now. So don't deny yourself, Orochimaru. Accept what you truly are. No, accept it. No, accept it. No! You're a monster, Orochimaru. That's what you are. Whatever you are now, you damn sure aren't human. Shut the hell up! Orochimaru covered his hand that he had punched the mirror with as he raced to the bedroom where baby Naruto was sleeping. He cradled the boy into his arms. The boy's cries were now getting to him. They were unpleasant, unsettling, even. Suddenly he could hear the cries of all the lives that he had taken. Thankfully enough, 5 months later, Jiraiya would pay a visit. A sleeping Naruto cooed in the corner of the living room as the two Sanin shared a glass of sake. It's good to be back. You said you'd visit more often. I know, I'm sorry. It's just that I've been doing a whole lot of research and you're nothing but a peeping Tom, Jiraiya. Oh, come on, don't be like that. Besides, I'm really working on a bestseller, you know. I got this whole idea planned out. I'm telling you, Orochimaru, it's gonna bring in a whole new stream of income. And the ladies. Who knows? Now that you're playing daddy, perhaps you can find a mommy to keep you company, and that's never going to happen. don't waste your breath. Say, what happened to your hand? It's all cut up. It's nothing. Just had an accident. Really? How are you holding up, Orochimaru? I'm fine. Yeah, you're not fine at all. What? Is being a parent getting to you? I'm fulfilling a mission. I'm not a parent. Yeah, you can call it that. But I see the way that you've cared for Naruto. Thank you. And why couldn't you do it? He's the son of your student. If anything, you are more obligated to care for him than me. Jiraiya looked away solemnly. Truth be told, I wouldn't be any good to the boy. And what's with the self-deprecation? It's not self-deprecation. It's a fact of life. You know what I am. I'm a screw-up, a loser in every sense of the word. People might call me one of the legendary Sanin, but I'm far from legendary. I'm just an old man with a broken heart, a bruised ego. And honestly, more regrets than I can count. But look at you. Your student's still alive. That's not a fair comparison, Jiraiya and you. Yeah. Shouldn't be so hard on myself. Truth be told, I should have been here. He needed me, and I should have been here. But no, what was I doing? Getting drunk, chasing some skirts. I didn't find out till 3 days later. Apparently I was blackout drunk, Orochimaru. He needed me and I wasn't there. And now I gotta live with that. It wasn't your fault. Well, tell that to Naruto. Someday he's gonna ask about his father, his mother. He's gonna ask why his parents aren't around. And I have to be the one to tell him. Your dad died saving the village. And where was I? Doing whatever, whenever. I'm a screw-up, man. I'm not like you. You were always Hiruzen's favorite. He had such high expectations for you. You think way too highly of me, Jiraiya. You think that I'm perfect without a flaw. Far from it. I can't let go. Let go of what? Nawaki died because of me. What? No. He walked into a landfill. He triggered the explosion. You couldn't have... Is that supposed to be an excuse? He was under my watch. If I had gone first, I could have escaped. I shouldn't have let him move on ahead. It was so fast. And I couldn't. He was here 1 second, and the next he was just Orochimaru. I just... Why? Why do they have to die? It shouldn't be like this. We're shinobi. We have all this power. So why can't we stop people from dying? Orochimaru, you can't control life and death, and why not? Why, Jiraiya? The baby. Yes. But why? Why can't we? We can spew fire out of our mouths. We can flood a country. We can bury it in a mountain. We can rain lightning from the sky. We can make windstorms. Jiraiya, we can summon large beasts. We can blow up a countryside. We can come up with thousands of ways to kill each other. But we can't save one life. Just one. Just one. Why are we so good at taking lives and not saving them? Is this about your parents? I don't know why they had to die. It's not fair. Nothing in this world is ever fair, my friend. More often than not, life will deal us a bad hand. But that doesn't mean that we have to give up. Who said we're giving up? I haven't given up. I mean finding a better way. We can be better. So much better if we actually tried. The world doesn't understand that. So often, those who are pained inflict pain upon others. It's a cycle that never seems to end. It's impossible. I don't think so. You always were optimistic. Perhaps. But maybe if a few more people were optimistic, we could turn things around. Don't hold your breath. Well, there has to be some way to peace in this world. And who knows? If we can't find it, both would look towards the lying baby. Perhaps the next generation can. You put a lot of faith in the next generation. You think they'll actually find the answer? You have to have hope, Orochimaru. Without hope, we would all be lost in darkness. 12 years later. Naruto Uzumaki! For the last time, if you don't wake your ass up, you're gonna be late. And I swear I will send a snake and it will bite you in your ass. Yeah, I'm coming, big sis uncle. Woo! Oh. And do you always have to jump down the full flight of stairs? I swear, one of these days you're gonna end up twisting your ankle, or worse. Come on. You can't act like it's not fun. Fun. Yeah, I can't admit it is pretty fun. Now hurry up and eat your breakfast, or you're gonna be late to the academy. Oh yeah, today's the day, isn't it? You seem awfully optimistic. Why wouldn't I be? Today's the day I become a Genin, Naruto would say. By the way, where's Orochimaru sensei? He had work to do. Now eat your breakfast and hurry up. Naruto looked a little deflated. He had hoped that Orochimaru would be here. After all, today was the day of the Genin graduation exam. He did leave this, though. Anko said as she handed Naruto a box. Inside was a brand new kunai pouch and shuriken holster, along with a note. Dear Naruto, I already know you'll succeed. You are my student after all. It's only natural that you will take the first steps in your shinobi journey. I welcome you to Geninhood. Do your best. Naruto would put on his kunai pouch and shuriken holster. How do I look? You look like you're gonna be late. Yeah, like that'll ever happen. Naruto immediately raced out of the door. Anko looking on as she couldn't help but grin herself. That boy had come a long way in just 12 years. And now, his step into the world of shinobi had begun. Naruto Uzumaki, the Serpent's Apprentice, had arrived. Meanwhile, at a laboratory base to the southwest of the Land of Fire, Orochimaru and a team of Anbu Black Ops arrive onto the scene. The entryway of the laboratory splattered with blood. How do you want us to proceed, Lord Orochimaru? You will go in behind me. I'll take point. You cover the south. You cover the north. Understood. Orochimaru would lead in the team, racing their way through the halls and corridors, avoiding the booby traps effortlessly. Inside the heart of the laboratory, a masked figure was typing away into the keyboard of the computer before a kunai would stop him in his tracks. It took you long enough. Sorry to keep you waiting, but I'm afraid I can't let you leave with that. Ah yes, the secrets of Konoha. Have to say, on all the intel I had been given, I thought it was just a myth. But it seems like Orochimaru really has become a Boy Scout. Making idle remarks won't get you anywhere. You're surrounded, Orochimaru said, as the 5 Anbu stood behind him. Well, you're right about one thing. Someone is definitely surrounded, but it's not me. Huh? Immediately, the Anbu would turn their blades towards Orochimaru, as the masked figure would chuckle. Who do you think tipped you off about this? Danzo. Exactly. Though, don't worry, I'm not working with him either. What? One of the Anbu said. But we were told that you were working with Lord Shimura. I don't know who told you that load of garbage. Whatever partnership you think me and Danzo have, trust, it's nothing like you'd expect. You're a traitor. That's what you are. We're going to eliminate you both. Orochimaru and the masked figure would fight off against the Anbu Black Ops, members of the Root, who had been sent in to assassinate Orochimaru. In the midst of the fighting, as they slashed and hacked their way through the Anbu against them, the masked figure would turn towards Orochimaru. As Orochimaru readied himself, he raised his right hand and began to weave a series of one-handed hand signs. Ninja art. Striking shadow snake. Ninja art. Earth style. Mud wall jutsu. The snakes would burrow through the wall, immediately striking at the masked figure. One snake burrowing its fangs in his forehead, as Orochimaru would appear from behind with a blade in hand, stabbing him in the back. I've been around for a long time. If you really think that I was going to fall for something like this, then you're gravely mistaken. Now, who are you under that mask? As Orochimaru pulled it off, he saw his own face. What's the matter? You look like you've seen a ghost. The Orochimaru imposter opened his tongue, revealing a marking on it. Exploding tag. All the bodies were riddled to explode. The cave, the laboratory, it would all go in smoke. As the masked figure watched on from the outside, he had gotten what he'd come for. You're getting sloppy, Danzo. Really, really sloppy. Sending in Orochimaru to do your dirty work? I gotta say, not half bad. But let's be honest. This ain't the old Orochimaru. He's gotten way too soft. You'll need to do a lot better than that if you really hope to kill me. This concludes Naruto Ouroboros. What if Naruto was adopted by Orochimaru? Part 1. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Also, for this video series in particular, I'm going to be implementing a like goal system. So, for the first 5 parts of Naruto Ouroboros, each video must reach 50 or more likes. This must be completed by midnight of Sunday. If all 5 parts do not hit 50 or more likes, the series will be put on indefinite hiatus until such a further time for it to be continued. This is a part of the new policy for PowerCore Productions going forward. Again, the focus is quality over quantity, and I want to make stories that you guys are actually going to enjoy. So, if you all really like this series, then don't forget to like and comment. That helps the video in the algorithm, and it helps get PowerCore more out there in the YouTube sphere. But without further ado, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.